In this module, we'll first see declare statements. Bash doesn't have strong type system. To allow that type of behavior, Bash has to set the type of the variable. That can be done using declare command. It is used to update the attributes of variable within the scope. Let's see how we can use this command. Let's type the command declare minus p. It will list all those variables declared or functions declared. We'll focus on the variable. So let's clear the screen. Let's check whether my variable my name is declared or not. No, it is not declared. Let's set this variable my name. Declare. Now this variable my name is declared. We can check this by using the command declare minus p grep my name. Here you see my name variable is declared. We can give a value to this variable by giving declare my name equal to user. When I check again, you will see my variable my name is declared to user. We can also declare a read-only variable. Declare minus r pwd file equal to etc pass wd echo $pwd file. This variable is our read-only variable. Let's try to change the value of the variable. Giving pwd file equal to hello.txt. Here you see the warning, pwd file is read-only variable, so we cannot modify this variable. That's how we can work with the declare commands. In the next lecture, we'll see arrays. An array is a collection of elements. Let's see how we can declare arrays within shell script and how we can use them. Earlier we have seen how we can read command line arguments as an array. Let's try to create our own arrays and how we can use them. Let's declare an array called myR equal to, in the bracket, foo bar var car. So we have declared an array as myR with values, with 4 defined values. Let's try to print the values. Echo $myR @ This will print the value of the entire array. The value of the array is printed. Let's try to print the values using index. Echo with the index value of 0. It should print foo. Yeah, it is printing only foo. To see all the indexes, type echo dollar within bracket explanation, then my array name @ end bracket. In the last line, you see all the indices are printed. To see how many number of elements in the array, echo $#myr. Here we see in the array we have 4 number of elements. Let's try to delete an element from the array. To do that, first find out the index of the element. Then you can do a onset of that index. Onset myr2. Then we'll try to print the entire array. So here you see the index value at the value at the index 2 where is deleted, and we can see only foo var car. In a similar way, we can add a value to the array by setting the value. Let's do my var2 equal to Let's try to print the array again. So here you see the new index is added. That's all about arrays. In the next topic, we'll see functions. Functions. These are just a collection of statements which are executed on calling. We use functions to remove the repetition of codes. Let's switch over to our terminal and see how we can write a function in shell scripting. The syntax for function is function, function name, within bracket, write a function statements. So here we have defined a function called my underscore func1, and inside that we have defined echo hello world. The call would be just the function name, my underscore func1. Let's execute this. Hello world is printed. So in this way, whenever we want to reuse this function called my underscore func1 in any script, we can reuse by doing a simple call. We do not need to write these statements again and again. For taking functions with arguments, we do not need to add anything extra. Just we need to reuse the arguments of $1 within the function. So whenever we'll be calling this function with an argument, that will be received by this variable $1. So in the call, we're calling my underscore fun2 with a parameter xyz. Like in other languages, we are giving the parameters within the bracket, but in shell we have to give with a space. So when execute, this will print hello xyz. Let's execute it. It's printing hello xyz. Xyz is received from the arguments. Let's see how we can take multiple arguments. In the similar way, we can provide n number of arguments to the function call, like with a space separator. So the number of arguments we have provided can be received by the function using $1, $2, $3, $4, etc. So when we call this, arguments are 1, 2, 3, 4. Now let's check how we can return values in a function. In this function sum, we have taken two arguments as parameters, and then we're doing a sum of these two arguments and printing this sum. Here there is no specific thing called return statements. Whatever you will be printing using echo statement would be returned by the functions. We can catch that value using addition equal to dollar sum 1 2. So the output of the function will be assigned to the variable called addition, and we can just print that value. Addition is $addition. Let's try to execute it. You can see here the addition is 3. In this way, you can define functions within Bash script. So that's all about the functions. In the next lecture, we'll see files and directories. Files and directories. In this section, we'll see how we can create directories and files in Bash scripting and check whether the file or directory exists or not. Also, we'll see how we can read the files, append some data into it. Also, we'll see how we can read a file and write a file in shell. Let's get started. Echo enter directory read dir. To check whether the directory exists or not, write if minus t dollar my directory variable, then echo directory exists, else echo directory not found. Try. Let's execute it. It will ask for a directory name. We'll give it as testdir. Directory exists. Let's try to give some directory which doesn't exist. TMP. Directory not found. In this way, you can check whether a directory exists or not. Let's try to check whether a file exists or not. For checking whether a file exists or not, the if statement would be, we'll just need to replace the D with F. F for checking file. If minus dollar file name, then echo file exists, otherwise the file not found. Let's execute this script. Let's give test file.txt which exists in this directory. Here it prints file is existing. In this way, you can check whether a file existing or not. Next, we'll see how we can read a file. Next, we'll see how we can add some data to a file. Let's copy the same section. If minus a file name, then enter some text. We'll be reading those text from the command line. So read file text, then echo dollar file text. We'll append it to the file called $fname. That's all. That's all. Let's execute it. Give the input of the file name as test file.txt. Enter some text. Hello, my file. Let's check the file whether some data is entered or not. Hello, my file name is added to the file. So here we have given append operator in order to add lines to the file. If you give single iteration operator, then the file will be overwritten. So better we will be writing. Every time we want to add some data to a file, we should give append operator. Next, we'll see how to read a file line by line. Then we'll check whether the file exists or not. Then we'll start reading the file. For reading the file, the syntax is while ifs equal to read minus r line. So we are reading the file line by line. Then do echo dollar line. Done. The input would be dollar file name. Else echo file not found. File. That's all. In this way, we can read the file line by line. Let's give the file name as test file.txt. So it is reading the entire contents of the file line by line. Finally, let's check how we can delete a file. We'll add similar kind of condition. If minus read the file name from command line. If the file exists, then delete the file by executing the command $fname file. So let's execute it. Test file.txt. Here you see the test file.txt is deleted. In this way, you can also delete a directory by giving -r option to this rm command. That's all about the files and directories. This brings to the closure of this section. In the next section, we'll see how we can use filters within bash scripting. Let's summarize what we have learned in this section. In this section, we have learned how we can use declare statements to declare variables, and then we have created some arrays and how we have manipulated the arrays. Then we have seen how we can write functions within bash scripts and how we can give different type of arguments to the functions. And finally, we have seen how we can read and write files and directories. That's all about this section. In the next section, we'll see how we can apply filters in the scripts.